All right, welcome to today's lesson on equations. Now, we're going to start out here, which is looking at equations and solving them by inspection or substitution. All right, so first of all, a couple of things. What is an equation? Well, I'm going to write a few examples of equations here, and I'll write a couple of examples of non-equations on the other side. These ones that I'm writing now are not equations. So quickly, what makes an equation? Well, you see this word in here, equage or equate. It comes from the equate equals sign. So you can see here that all of these equations have equal signs, whereas these ones do not have equal signs. So these are not equations, pretty simply. Basically, an equation has to equate two parts. We call those parts the left-hand side and the right-hand side, and I'll write it like this. All right, left-hand side, right-hand side. And the way to solve an equation is to make sure that those two sides are in balance or equal to each other. So for instance, we might say here, 7 times 5 equals 30 plus 5. We can see here that 7 times 5 is equal to 35. 30 plus 5 is equal to 30 plus 5 also, 35. And so therefore the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. This equation is true. If the left-hand side equals the right-hand side, the equation is true. Okay, so sometimes we will come across equations that have letters in them. All right, now these letters we call special words. We call them pronumerals or variables. Okay, so a pronumeral could be an X or a Y. And it's called a pronumeral because normally the equations have numbers in them, but this time, oh, that's a T at the end there, this time they've got a letter in them. So we can see here that the pronumeral is in place of a letter. So it's pro, meaning in place of, and numeral, meaning number. So this letter is in place of a number, so X or Y. All right, so we've got a few terms here to look at. Now, to use an equation, we want to find a solution for it. So you saw the example here where left-hand side equals the right-hand side. That's the goal all the time. But something like the bottom one, 4 times x equals 10 plus y, we would have to try and solve by inspection. So I would just be plugging numbers in for place of x and y to find out where the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So I could say, okay, so 4 times 2 equals 10 plus 3, and that would be 8 equals 13. All right, so 2 and 3 are not solutions to this equation. So we could say 4 times 3 equals 10 plus 2. And you can see here that 4 times 3 is 12, 10 plus 2 is 12. So that means that x equals 3, or can, and y can equal 2. And that is a solution for this equation. All right. However, sometimes what can happen is that you could get multiple solutions. So 4 times 2, right, we know that 4 times 2 is 8, equals 10 plus, now what happens if y was minus 2? And 10 plus minus 2 is also 8. So another solution here is x equals 2 and y equals minus 2. All right, so solutions will sometimes come in groups. There might only be one solution for an equation. There could be many solutions for an equation. All right, and a solution is just what makes the left-hand side equal the right-hand side. Okay, and the way to solve these equations is to do the calculations like I have shown here and work down the page showing that the left-hand side is equal to, or in this case over here, not equal to the right-hand side. All right, if you've got this situation here, you could say it is a false equation. All right, or in this situation here, you can say it's a true equation. All right. So the questions today and this week are dealing with all of these sorts of ideas.